Well, you already know what I'm going to say. If you watched the last video, sweep the picks. We went 3-0 once again, hitting every single player prop in that video, going 3-0. My name's CJ Curry. We're back to try to do it again. Keep this little hot streak, this momentum we have going. So if you're new to the channel, haven't subscribed before, subscribe, because we're at less than 100 subscribers away from hitting that 30,000 subscriber milestone. You guys rock with me, I rock with you. Keep showing up and putting these videos out for you guys. Appreciate all the love and support. If you cashed out with me on this slip, let me know by hitting the like button. This was the picks from the last video. We had Norman Powell over his first half points, rebounds, and assists at 12.5. He blew past that line. 18 first half PRA for Powell in that game against the Denver Nuggets. So really good job there. The other prop we had was Keldon Johnson under 7.5 rebounds and assists. I know this one got bumped down to 6.5 rebounds and assists, but the guy finished with only 3 rebounds and assists. So even if you took it under 6.5 RA, you still cashed out with me in last video. And the last one was Jaime Jaquez Jr. to go over 22.5 fantasy score. It looked a little dicey, not gonna lie, but Jaquez came through for us real big. This one got bumped up to 23.5 or 24.5 fantasy score by the time the game tipped off, but he finished with more than 29 fantasy scores. So all 3 of these picks cashed without breaking a sweat. So congratulations to everybody out there, and I appreciate everybody who continues to support the video. So what are we gonna do for Flex Friday? Well, we're gonna throw our guns up first and foremost and hit a flex. For that Flex Friday, you're gonna get that 40% payout boost over on PrizePicks. So if you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, go ahead, make your first deposit, use promo code CJ Curry, and then when you play your first slip, first $5 you play, they're going to give you $50 in return. So pretty cool offer over on PrizePicks. But let's go ahead and pull up the PrizePicks board here and see what we got popping. A lot of injury news is what I will warn you about first and foremost over on PrizePicks. There is a lot of people that are sitting out for Friday's game. Don't know why. Not sure what's going on, but it's going on nonetheless. So let's try to work our way through some of these injury issues and some of this injury news and find ourselves some winning props. I'm going to start with this first guy, and I'm talking about Onyeka Okongwu. And I'm going to take the over on his 14.5 points and assists, but really I think an argument could be made for the PRA if you wanted to go that route. The fantasy score didn't look too shabby, and the points and rebounds, but for the points and assists, I'm sticking with that one because surprisingly, the last 4 times, I believe it was, that he played the Toronto Raptors, he cleared the over in 14.5 points and assists. So let's take a peek at that. For the 2025 season, Okongwu done a pretty good job here of going over on his points and assists, a 75% hit rate, 19, 20, 15, 20. Came really close here against Brooklyn, finished with 14, 1 PA shy in that game. I think I did have his over in that game, and he sold us by 1. Next game, he comes back and hits the over, has kind of a stinker against a tough Cleveland Cavaliers matchup, and then 17 against my Orlando Magic. So what has he done against this team? Well, his opponent here, the Toronto Raptors, have allowed him now to go over 4 straight times, as I mentioned before, with 15, 23, 24, and 19 points plus assists in the last 4 head-to-head meetings. Now, I do want to point out that over the last few games here, his minutes have kind of leveled off right around 25 to 26, maybe even 27. If things are getting kind of weird for Porzingis or Jalen Johnson, maybe they get in foul trouble, you'll see those minutes kind of go up. But wanted to point out that he's not getting that 30, 33, 35 minute marker like he was for the first few games. That number has kind of tapered off, and he sits right around 25 to 27 minutes per game most nights. But nonetheless, he's done a pretty good job here against the Toronto Raptors of clearing this line. On even at just 18.1 minutes against the Raptors, he cleared at 28.9 minutes. So as long as he's getting around 26 minutes or so, I mean, I think he's got a real opportunity to hit the over. The games in which he did not clear, he had about 25.9 against Cleveland, and then another 28.1. That was against Brooklyn. Anyway, let's talk about the matchup here, because the center position against this Toronto team is not much better than it was in the past. So if Okongwu was able to get this done in the past, well, Matchups is more or less the same here. 19th in points allowed to opposing centers are the Toronto Raptors, and 27th in assists allowed to opposing centers. So it's a good matchup on paper in terms of points and assists here, which is why I kind of went that route for Okongwu. Now, if you were to look at something like his points, rebounds, and assists, what kind of pushed me off of the PRA and onto the PA is the fact that the Raptors are actually a pretty stingy team when it comes to rebounds allowed to opposing centers. So that's why I sided with the points and assists. You could go just pure points here if you wanted to as well. So a lot of different ways, a lot of different options, but I'm going to stick with the PA on this one. Points plus assists at just 14.5. Taking another look at RotoWire because we need to get you some projections here for Okongwu and see how he's kind of favoring across various NBA player projection models. RotoWire's loving Okongwu. Their PrizePicks player prop tool has Okongwu going over for really everything. They lean more on his points and rebounds, his fantasy score, his points and assists, his points, even his PRA. Now that one's a betting favorite to go under on the sports book, so I'd probably shy away from that one. The other ones I would stick to are points and rebounds, fantasy score, PA, or points. So let's crack open his player card here and take a look at the points and assists. He is projected for nearly 17 PA, so very good, strong projection according to the RotoWire projection tool here. So like that first projection. For another projection, we can slide over to LineStar and take a peek at Okongwu over there. Okongwu sitting out at a total of 14 points plus assists, so a little shy of the 14.5 line that he is at over on PrizePicks. So more of a conservative or lighter number for Okongwu. 14.5 is the line, 14 is the projection. So a little difference there of about 0.5. Not big enough to pull me off. Like if he was down at like 13.5 or 13 points and assists, I'd be a little bit more shy about taking it. But let's also check out Betting Pros because every site's going to provide just a slightly different projection. And because we use 3 different projection models, we can kind of figure out, what the majority consensus is here for Okongwu's projections. And when we punch him in over on Betting Pros, he is projected to go for 15.8 points plus assists, so that puts him about 1.3 higher than his line. So 2 out of the 3 models like Okongwu to go over. I think the matchup and the historical head-to-heads that he's had, even his hit rates from this season, all kind of push me toward taking the over on Okongwu. And I wouldn't be surprised if this one got bumped up to 15, maybe even a 15.5, but we'll see how things kind of transpire throughout the day once the betting public kind of wakes up to this prop. Pick number 2, we're going to go with one of my players, Orlando Magic player, and I'm talking about Desmond Bane, man. This guy, he's had a couple of decent games for Orlando, but I think he's still trying to find his footing, trying to find his fit on this team. With Jalen Suggs expected to play, that backcourt kind of becomes crowded. That's just one extra mouth to feed in that offense. And you got guys obviously like Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero playing alongside of Desmond Bane. And Wendell Carter Jr. can surprise you with some decent games at times as well. So I'm looking to take the under on Desmond Bane at 20.5 points plus assists. This is a prop that he's only hit twice. Now, I will say he did get ejected, left last game early, but I don't think he was on pace to hit the over for the 20.5 in that last one versus the Atlanta Hawks before his ejection. So let's take a look at his game logs here. 20.5 is the number. He's now logged a total of 8 games for the Orlando Magic. Opened the season pretty strong in a shootout against the Miami Heat. Finished with 26 PA in that game. The only other game that he went over was another high-scoring affair against the Philadelphia 76ers, where he put up 24 points plus assists. The other games have been pretty average to lackluster, to say the least. He had 20 PA against the Hawks, 17 against Chicago, 14 against Detroit, 16 against Charlotte, only 10 points and assists versus Washington. I mean, it was a blowout. Orlando handled him 125-94, so he didn't get his full run of minutes in that game. And then against Atlanta, like I said, not a very good performance there against the Hawks. Finished with 9 points, 2 assists, got ejected kind of late in that game. Played about 22.6 minutes before he got tossed. But yeah, I mean, it's just been kind of hit or miss, and a lot more misses for Desmond Bane, a lot more unders. And this matchup against the Boston Celtics has been one where he has struggled in the past. The last 2 times he's played Boston, both of these games were obviously as a member of the Memphis Grizzlies, but still finished with just 18 and 15 points plus assists. So he's probably going to see a lot of Derek White. I would imagine that Derek White's going to probably be on Bane more than Suggs. I think Bane's probably the bigger offensive threat, and so you'd probably throw your best guard defender on him. I don't know who's going to guard Franz. I don't know who's going to guard Paolo. That's for the Celtics to figure out. Probably Jaylen Brown will pick up one of those 2 guys, and then see what happens with the other. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Bane sees a lot of Derek White, and perhaps that's why he has struggled against Boston in the past. Not sure, but he has gone under nonetheless, averaging about 16.5 points plus assists. Now, Boston against point guards, which Jalen Suggs is more of the point guard on this team, they give up a pretty decent amount of points and assists allowed. So if you're thinking about going under and you're a point guard, I don't know. Maybe I would take the over on Suggs. But shooting guards, which is kind of more Bane's position. I mean, he does some ball handling. Definitely not the primary ball handler. You'll see guys like Jalen Suggs bring it up a lot of the times and initiate the offense. You'll see Banchero touch the ball a lot. Wagner will touch the ball a lot. Those guys are your more of your initiators. But really, Orlando's got 3 to 4 solid ball handler, playmaker, guys who initiate the offense for their team. But nonetheless, I would call Bane the shooting guard here. And they rank 10th, does Boston, in fewest points allowed to shooting guards, and 7th in fewest assists allowed to shooting guards. So on paper, this is a bottom 10 matchup here for Bane, or 10th hardest, however you'd like to phrase that or twist that. But nonetheless, it doesn't look like a good one for Desmond Bane. And he's went under in 75% of the games that he's played in this season, averaging about 17.38 points plus assists per game. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at some projections for Bane. Bane's out here over on RotoWire, and he is a lean less for pretty much all of his props that include his points, like his points plus assists, his points plus rebounds, his points, rebounds, and assists. Pretty much everything is a lean under on Desmond Bane. Now, he's not going to stay under forever, but I don't know that this is the game where he pops back up, comes back to life. This is, again, just not a matchup that he's really thrived in the past, and it's not a matchup that looks very good for him in the present either on paper. But he's projected for about 18.63 points plus assists, so that is 1.87 points plus assists lower than the 20.5 line that PrizePicks has him at. So definitely lean under based on that projection. Let's also check out the Line Star projection for Desmond Bane. Line Star, another fantastic tool here that does a little bit of everything for all these different sports. They have everything red for Bane. And if you're looking at red on Line Star, red means under his line. So under the fantasy score, under the points, rebounds, and assists, under the points and rebounds. They even have him going under the points and assists. Now, this number is way too low. They've got him projected for about 11.8 points plus assists. There ain't no way he finishes with about 12 PA. I don't think so anyway. I mean, that would be a free prop if he finishes with about 12 points plus assists. I think he'll have a little bit more than that, but really hard for me to even take the over here. For me, this is an under or just fade, meaning don't take it at all type of prop. Under or nothing. The last projection we'll check out is Betting Pros, of course. Betting Pros, a free tool you can check out on bettingpros.com if you're looking for some free player prop projection tools. Now, the one thing about Betting Pros is sometimes it takes a long time for it to load. Their projection for Bane is a higher one than the other two that we've looked at. 23.3 projected points plus assists. Again, he'd have to really have things rolling in this game for that to happen. Just don't know if this is the matchup for him to get back on track. So 2 out of the 3 projection models that we've referenced in the video have him going under. I think all the historical data really points to the under, just kind of like how all the historical data on Okongwu pointed toward the over. So I'm going to lean with the under on Desmond Bane for this one. Now, the last one is going to be a first half only prop. And we did a pretty good job with Norman Powell in the last video. I tried not to take too many first half props, but in some circumstances and situations, I think it's worth doing. And Neemias Queta for the Boston Celtics, their starting center. This one was at 8.5 within the last half hour or so. So it just got bumped up from 8.5 up to 9. But I played this one in the last slate, the last time Queta played, which was against the Washington Wizards, and he cleared it with no problem. I'm going to go back to it again against Orlando. So let's take a closer look under the lens of outlier here. So I have it set to 8.5 in outlier. This is just going to show you all the games where he's had at least 9 PRA or more in the first half. Remember, these first half props, I don't know if you could find them on any other app, but PrizePicks. So if you're not playing on PrizePicks, even better reason to get deposited, start playing over there. They give you way more player prop options than pretty much any other site out there. Underdog has a lot. Some of these sports books have a lot, but nobody has as many options as PrizePicks when it comes to player props for the NBA. So anyway, Queta has hit at least 9 or more PRA in the first half in 89% of the games that he's played in. 8 out of 9. Really strong hit rates. The only game that he missed was against the Philadelphia 76ers. He only played about 10 minutes in that game, so that was kind of a lower number for him. As you can see over the last 3 games, his minutes are trending up. 12.6 in the first half, 14, and then that last game against Washington really had it going. 14.7 in that one. So minutes are trending upwards, which is always good for a guy like Queta. The more minutes he's out there, he's a pretty good PRA per minute guy. So he's going to have a really strong chance of going over. Had 22 PRA in that last game against Washington. Now, how has he fared against Orlando? Well, it's kind of a mystery in some regard because 3 games, right? He's got 3 head-to-heads from last season, but you got to throw 2 of these out because he only played 0.6 minutes in the first half for some weird reason, and he played 0 minutes in this other game. So those basically don't count. Scratch those out. You don't need to worry about those. Now, the game where he did get significant minutes, 13.3 minutes against Orlando, he actually put up a respectable 9 first half points, rebounds, and assists. So could this tie or push? Yes, it could. But if it does, it's not the end of the world. That just means that your prop, your slip, goes from, let's say, a 6 pick down to a 5 pick, a 5 pick to a 4 to a 3, a 3 to a 2. And if it's a 2, well, then it would be like a refund or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's done a good job here against Orlando when he actually gets minutes. Now, as far as the matchup goes, we can take a look at Orlando versus centers this season. They're giving up the 28th most points to the center position. Really good. There's only 2 teams that give up more points to centers than the Orlando Magic, so they're not defending the center position very well. Now, the other 2 categories or columns, middle of the pack, average, neutral matchup. 13th in rebounds allowed and 13th in assists allowed. One thing that I kind of do here, since we don't really have any tool that can give you a first half only projection, is I look at the full game projection and I kind of slice the number in half to give us an idea of roughly what he might average on a per half basis. So we could kind of do that with some of these projections for Queta. So we'll start things off here by looking at RotoWire's projection for the points, rebounds, and assists. They've got him at about 19, his line sitting at 9. So if you were to cut this 19 in half, well, that would put him over his player prop line. So, you know, he would need to have basically higher than 18 full game PRA projection. And so this one does check that box, 19.14 being higher than 18. So that's a good projection there for Neemias Queta. Checking out his other projections over on LineStar. Let's pull them up there. Looking for a PRA projection of around 18 or so. 17.7, not too bad. I'm okay with that. We could ride with that. That's close enough for me. I don't mind that at all. And then the last projection, we'll go over to Betting Pros and check out what they have. I wish that my projection models, all of them, like updated and loaded before I could record these videos. But some of these sites and tools that I use, they don't update till like, I don't know, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes. So got to make do with what I have available. But Queta over here on Betting Pros, they actually don't have a PRA projection for him. They have his points and rebounds at 15.8. They don't like have his assists on here. So that 15.8 doesn't include any assists that he might have. He's usually pretty good for like maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 assists. So let's just call it about 17.8. Pretty close to the 18 number, close enough for me to, like I said, roll the dice here and see what happens with Queta. The rest of the stats look pretty good against Orlando. So That would be pick number 3. We'll take Queta over 9 first half points, rebounds, and assists. So that's what I have for you. That's the end of today's video. You guys let me know down in the comment section below. Easy for me to say it around 2 a.m. in the morning when my tongue gets tied. Let me know down in the comment section below. Are you liking any of these picks, hating any of these picks? Or is there any other picks that you have your eye on? Maybe you have a question about them. I'd be happy to answer it. Leave it down in the comment section below. Maybe another fellow viewer sees your comment, tails your pick, and ends up winning because you commented a sharp winning play down in the comment section below. We're all here trying to help each other win more together. It's a community effort, gang. No one does this alone. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in and supporting the channel. Hit the like button and subscribe on your way out. Let's get up to 30,000 subs. I'll do a little giveaway here on the channel. Appreciate all the love and support. We'll see you inside a Dub Club. Peace.